In the early days, farm implements were in keeping with a slow and patient Dobbin, plodding his faithful way across the farmlands of the world. The sickle bar mower was strictly part of the hard farming methods in use for many years. The farmer's work potential was limited because of a lack of power and the proper implements with which to farm. However, the Perry Company, along with many other firms, has worked constantly to improve the farmer's position in a competitive world. To lessen his burden and place him on an equal footing with other modern industry, the Perry Company has developed the rotocycle, a rotary cutter that cuts grass, hay, and stubble faster and more economically than any other known method. Skilled engineers spend endless hours on research at the drafting table, developing and engineering each part of the rotocycle to deliver maximum service. From the drive assembly through the heavy-duty gearbox to the special chrome alloy forged steel blade, one thought is always foremost in the minds of the engineers: to design and build the best cutting machine possible. The engineers' calculations begin to take shape. Giant presses exert tons of pressure to form the precision parts of the rotocycle. With one stroke of the press, the heavy 3/16-inch steel cover plate is punched to accommodate a gearbox assembly. The finest in steel is needed to withstand the abuse this machine will undergo in the field. Modern industry has found the most successful means of constructing heavy machinery is to build component parts separately. The completed parts are all brought together for assembly. Precision jigs hold them in the exact position by the use of mechanical clamps, where they are welded into a single unit by skilled workmen. The welders complete a rotocycle cage assembly in 12 minutes and it moves on. It's quite a job moving the heavy finished chassis from the welding jig to the assembly line. Once again, modern machinery like the mobile hoist and the latest industrial techniques are employed. It is these manufacturing methods that keep the rotocycle within the price range of the small farmer. All parts in the electrically welded cage assembly are die formed to assure a perfect fit, both for original equipment and for replacement parts. Constant inspections ensure perfect component parts to form the completed chassis for the rotocycle. While the chassis is being moved to the assembly line, high-grade iron is being prepared in the foundry for casting the heavy gear housings. The white-hot molten iron runs from the huge cupola into the ladle with a shower of sparks. This is the birth of one of the most important and vital parts of the rotocycle. Previously prepared forms stand ready to receive the iron as it is poured from the ladle. After the pouring, the castings are allowed to cool and cure slowly to ensure uniform strength throughout. After thorough curing, these castings are ready for machining. They are placed in precision machines which are accurate to 10/1000ths of an inch. Accuracy, of course, is essential. These rough castings now become precision housings for the finest in power transmissions. The special stress-proof shafts equipped with double-oil seals are supported by 4,000-pound thrust bearings. They carry the high-speed cut steel heat-treated gears, which are assembled to make the heavy-duty gearbox the heart of the rotocycle cutter. In final assembly, all component parts receive close inspection of materials and workmanship to assure the finest in a completed unit. The gearbox is set into place by overhead conveyor. The axle and adjustment assembly are placed in position and secured to the cage assembly. The rotocycle is then moved to the conveyor for a trip through the paint booth, where the entire machine is flow-coated with a tough, durable, weather-resistant enamel. A product the manufacture of which has been so painstaking and expensive demands careful handling. And so, safe, reliable loading and shipping is another feature indicative of rotocycle cutter production and service with the Perry Company. Shipments to all parts of the world travel out of Waco via air freight, motor freight, rail, and water. And whether it be a single shipment or a carload, It receives the same special attention to make certain of safe, prompt delivery. So far, we have seen the Perry rotocycle in every stage of construction, from an engineer's planning in the drafting room to the point of assembly. We have watched the huge hunks of steel and molten iron converted into a useful, serviceable farm machine, designed to increase the profit of the farmer and make his life more pleasant. Let's now take a look at the operation of the rotocycle in its many uses and see why this ingenious machine is such a boon to the farmer. The destruction of cotton and corn stalks after the crop harvest has always been a major problem in farming. The rotocycle cuts, shreds, and distributes these old stalks that they might be turned under. Yes, the patented mulch basket of the rotocycle causes the cut stalk to stay under the cage until it is shredded. This is accomplished by the high-speed chrome alloy steel heat-treated blade. The destruction of stalks in this manner greatly assists in soil building. The shredded material deteriorates quickly. This organic matter is returned to the soil, enriching it for future crops. This fast, easy method of stalk destruction, coupled with increased yield the following year from the organically enriched soil, will increase the farm profit sufficiently to many times pay for the rotocycle. The pink bollworm, corn borer, and other insects are destroyed by this method of stalk destruction, another way the rotocycle brings added profits. This method of insect control is recommended by our agricultural and conservation departments. During actual agricultural college tests, rotocycle had approximately 70% kill of the pinkworm, and the stalks and unopened bolls were so fractured that another 23% were killed from exposure to the sun. This gave a total destruction of approximately 93% of actual count of the pink bollworm, which makes it one of the most successful ways of combating this insect. The rotocycle is one implement the farmer will use most every month in the year. Weeds are destroyed along fences and turning rows. Fire lanes around buildings and highway shoulders and ditches are easily and economically cut. Vetches and cover crops are cut ahead of planting. Pastures are maintained throughout the summer and the fall. The stalk problem is handled with ease. In the maize field, it is general practice to combine just the head of the maize, leaving considerable stalk standing. The cutting of this heavy stalk is easily accomplished with rotocycle for either baling or feeding, or it can be shredded so that it might be turned back into the soil. A double hub carrying two rigid blades is used for fine shredding in territory where 3 crops a year is the practice. In the Rio Grande Valley of Texas, cotton stalks are cut and shredded, and within 2 weeks' time, small seeded vegetables such as beets and carrots are planted. This practice makes it necessary to cut the preceding crop stalks quite small so that they will deteriorate in minimum time and not interfere with the vegetable crop seeders. When the maize stalks are cut for baling, the rear cage of the rotocycle is removed, which allows them to pass through cut off, ready for the baler, but not shredded. What a help to the farmer, a far cry from the days when a farmer worked his land manually, or if he was lucky, with the help of a horse. The rotocycle also cuts through young trees and thicket growths easily, a job impossible for the sickle bar type of mower. Every month in the year presents a different cutting need for the rotocycle, and its rugged construction assures that each cutting operation is satisfactorily done. The Model D rotocycle cuts a 10-foot, 6-inch swath. The extreme width of this machine makes it economical for the cutting of large areas. This machine, however, is also designed to handle the heavy cutting job, too. For this reason, it is used for maintaining pastures where young tree sprouts, such as plum thickets and shinnery, are quite often prevalent. For cutting hay, this wide rotocycle not only cuts a greater width, but can be operated at a higher speed than the old sickle bar mower and without the costly breakdowns which are true with the sickle bar mower. For cutting hay, the back of the cage is removed so that the hay will be cut off and allowed to pass through without being shredded. However, heavy woody stems are fractured in such a manner that they cure in a shorter time than when cut off and allowed to lie whole. The shorter curing time required by hay cut with the rotocycle affords it a much greener, prettier color, as it is unnecessary for it to lie in the sun and bleach. The Model K rotocycle is a highly maneuverable machine. Attaching direct to the drawbar, it is hydraulically raised and lowered by the control convenient to the operator. This model, having no side wheels, allows a very close cutting along fence rows, buildings, and under the edge of orchard trees. The maneuverability of the Model K permits easy crossing of field terraces, irrigation checks, and other uneven ground. Proving the durability of rotocycles in a number of special field operations and tests assure the farmer of satisfactory service from his rotocycle. The weight test is one of many routine tests used to prove up the running gear, axle arms, and lifting device of the rotocycle. The pounding weight and torque applied in this test is tremendous. Tests like these ensure durability, that the rotocycle will stand up under all types of field conditions and meet every demand of the farmer. For the rotocycle line of rotary cutters is the most complete and extensive cutter line on the market today. It is manufactured in 10 different sizes and models. Sizes range from 60 inches to 140 inches in width and vary from completely tractor-mounted models and manually raised wheel-mounted or toe-type models to hydraulically controlled toe-type models. The Model R 60-inch rotocycle toe-type, the Model W 66-inch toe-type, the most popular, the Model M 66-inch tractor-mounted fast hitch for farm-all tractors, the Model G 60-inch type for tractors with 3-point suspension, and the Model E 140-inch type, which although weighing 1,800 pounds is so balanced that it may be lifted into position by one man without the aid of levers or jacks. These are the heat-treated cut steel gears mounted on stress-proof shafting and protected with double oil seals to ensure trouble-free service in the field. A variety of cutting blades are available, such as the swinging blade held in sandwich fashion in the hub. This type of blade swings back if a stationary object is struck, thus protecting the gearbox. However, rotocycle's superior construction also permits the use of the heavy-duty rigid blade for a finer cutting job and for fine shredding, and the double hub carrying 2 rigid blades. The heavy-duty Blood Brothers drive shaft and universal joint assembly complete the story of the rugged, high-quality component parts of the completed Perry Company rotocycle, ready to cut in the fields and pastures on farms throughout the world.